Welcome back to Global TV Talk Show. This is Ed in San Diego. It's 3 past the hour, 8 a.m. here in California, southernmost Southern California. We're about 8 miles from Tijuana. In fact, I could see the border if I go outside. But we're live in Ukraine, and our very special guest is Chris EXLINE, who's founder and CEO of Home Essentials. Chris is an American, has been based, however, in Hong Kong for many years, and has since expanded to be a multinational corporation, Home Essentials, and providing rental furniture and mattresses and advice and all kinds of home goods for people being relocated and on business travel, not just in Hong Kong, but around the world. Let's welcome Chris EXLINE.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks for having us.
Live in Ukraine, it's just after 6 p.m. and we see the power is on. And again, bless you and your whole self for doing what you're doing. Rest assured Ukraine.com. This is not a political show. This is a business to business program. Chris EXLINE, what are you doing in Ukraine?
Freezing.
No heat, huh?
It's pretty cold, and it's shockingly it's still snowing. It hasn't stopped snowing here, but I'm also enjoying it very much, because what we're doing is bringing about new business lines. We're the first furniture rental company in Ukraine. We're the first multinational company to open offices since this phase of the war, and since February 24th, and we have successfully started to round out our supply chain. We've successfully started to ramp up our manufacturing capabilities. We are now in the process of hiring corporate office staff, and our new corporate offices in Kremenetz should be under construction next week. And so we're making significant progress, and along the way, we're on track to deliver our 5,000th mattress to internally displaced refugees by the end of by the end of March.
5,000! Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have your own trucks, or you have to rent trucks, or?
No, well, that's the thing. I mean, as you know, Ed, globally, we have an entire fleet of trucks. I mean, each location in the countries that we operate has its own fleet of trucks. We've got, warehousing of tens of thousands of square feet for each location. And on Monday, when we were getting ready to deliver our next batch of 150 mattresses, the truck broke.
Oh.
So, and it's not like you just go down to the local repair shop. I mean, getting spare parts for a Mercedes truck is not so easy. But fortunately, we're blessed to have a good relationship with the city council. We contacted the city council, told them the problem. Literally within 20 minutes, Ed, they had a replacement truck from a volunteer show up at the factory, and we loaded the mattresses.
Okay, so what's the mattress made out of?
Well,
I'm not knowledgeable, so I have to ask this dumb question.
I think you are. I mean, you've been using mattresses every day for
the
past 30 years. So
yeah, I've got a good one.
So it must be from Home Essentials.
It's a California King. So it's
from Home Essentials.
No, I think it's from Jerome's, but that's a local operator.
There we go. So Ed, they're made out of the same thing as everything else: foam, springs, cotton, a filler, fiber fill layers and things like that, stitching.
Yeah. So, okay. So, but mostly single beds.
Yeah. Right now, for the Rest Assured program, our mattresses that we're delivering are, as you say in the United States, twin size. 3 feet wide, 91 cm by 200 cm, or 6.5 feet long.
Okay, I got to ask some questions here about the people who are your customers of that. They've been bombed out, displaced. Where are they? Are they in a shelter?
Yes. They're mostly in government buildings, schools, and things like that. And you're the first one that's actually called them a customer. I mean, we don't really have customers because we don't charge them, nor do we charge the city or the city council or the local governments for the mattresses. So we like to say that they're recipients. If I have customers, those would be those inclined that have felt compelled to make a donation of a mattress to an individual that is a refugee or displaced in some of these areas.
This is truly an awe-inspiring conversation for me.
Well, thanks.
And I hope our audience gets into this.
Well,
I'll
what's
make
amazing
sure
about it,
that
though,
they
is
get it.
when you show up at these government facilities, literally we have people waiting, 15, 20 people deep just to get a mattress, just so they don't have to sleep on cardboard on the floor. These are people that have, whether they're orphans or they're students or they're women with their children and their husbands are fighting on the front lines. I mean, these are people that are reduced to just being grateful for their most basic need. Like here, I mean, I'm here because we don't have power at the factory because the generators cost too much to fire it up for something like this. My residence has got internet connectivity issues, so I'm at a local restaurant in downtown Kremenetz, speaking to you. So you basically just adapt, and the things that we take for granted in the West are things that we now count as a luxury when they occur.
Yeah. So I hear the other people. So are they hearing you right now?
Maybe I'll try and move this out if it's kind of a disruptive in the background.
No, it's just fine. It's real. This is
Okay.
live. This is
Thanks.
live TV, and I thank you for doing this. Okay, now let me ask you about mental health, your mental
All right.
health. And I really appreciate you. So you've gone from the lap of luxury and high culture to a danger zone, or what appears to be a danger zone. Is my assumption correct or incorrect about where you're at?
You're correct. I deal with everybody on a daily basis, and people are affected. And last night at 6:30, again in heavy snowfall, the entire town came to a standstill because we sadly were witnessing the family say goodbye to the 26th hero of this small town that paid the ultimate price. So to sit there and say, oh, everyone copes and organizes and, we're all together and banding through this. How do you look at, priests and the mayor and the city council holding and embracing a family that's just lost their 21-year-old son? How do you say, what, no, you're not fine. What helps me through this, sadly, is I know that I can actually leave. I choose to be here. So in the back of your mind, you've got an exit. Now, I don't intend to exit, but as humans, we have to figure out ways to adjust the reality that we're in, even if it's a reality that we've elected to be a part of. And with that reality, you have to be extremely sensitive to those with whom you come in contact with and converse, because they are in the small town. They know the parents of those that have lost their lives. They're relatives, they're friends, they've seen the children grow up, and so it's very difficult, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
And about you, let's talk about you.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
Part of me is feeling exhilarated in that we're actually able to make a difference. So, I like this isn't for, this, but, I mean, living in a penthouse on one of the most prestigious streets in Hong Kong, or arguably any major city in the world, and looking out over the harbor and the city and the peak and everything else, it's a great life, and I'm blessed to have that. And my partner and I have talked about this a lot, but I choose to be here. And so mentally, I'm okay to be here because I've elected to be here, and I see that we're actually making a difference. So there's positive effects of our involvement here.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the multiplier of that in a small town that I wouldn't see in Kyiv or Lviv or another large city. Having said that, being part of a small town, you become kind of more part of the fabric of that small town. And unless you're totally calloused and jaundiced, then you've got to feel for these people.
Yeah, it's breathtaking. Well,
yeah, but fortunately, I mean, my partner and I, he's fully supportive of this. It'd be very difficult to do this if I had issues at the home where a family wasn't supportive of this. Also, I'm very, very cognizant that there aren't many people that could just kind of pick up, come to another place where they don't know the culture, don't know the language, don't know anybody, and be here for as long as it takes. So I'm blessed in the way that I'm financially stable enough that I can live in a town and devote the time and the resources to making sure that we do this right.
amen.
So,
well, as we come to a close of this in the next few minutes of this update, we'll call this a short form interview dialogue. And I invite you to come back to the February 22 massive teleconference that we're doing. Let me know soon so I could add you to that roster if you're interested.
Very much so, thank you.
You are? Okay, then I will add you into that today. And that'll be a massive audience, February 22. Same time, starts 8 a.m. California, 6 p.m. Ukraine. But with people from several different countries will be on that program. I'll be glad to introduce you and what you're doing.
Thank you. If I may add one final thing, the thing that seems to be on everybody's mind now in Ukraine is the looming offensive by Russia, and where everyone is actually concerned, as hundreds of thousands of troops amass on the border. Will it have the overwhelming effect of people on the lines? What does it mean for local citizens? What does it mean for those people that will? I mean, what we're planning for right now is we're planning for the possibility of tens of thousands, if not over 100,000 Ukrainians being displaced by having to flee these eastern and central regions, where they're right now living an existence of getting by day to day as these troop formations continue to swell in the areas of interest. Those people are starting to flee. And so one of the things that we've done at Home Essentials is we've been working with local governments to identify vacant flats, vacant apartments, vacant houses. And we're already right now working on a program to furnish hundreds and hundreds of those houses with short-term furniture for 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Because these families, these people will need some place to ride out this wave.
So the vacant homes that you're referring to are residents of the major cities, and they fled. They were in Hungary or Poland or someplace.
Well, at this moment, most people won't be going to Hungary or Poland or Bulgaria or Romania, basically because they may not be able to get the visas. Maybe they don't know if they'll be able to get back. And also the other thing about it, which makes it different, is that so many of them understand that victory is closer today than it was a year ago. So there's an overarching interest of staying within Ukraine, but they need a place for, say, 3-4 months while the U.S. and the European Union and NATO military equipment gets into place and repels the attack from Russia. And so that's why we've been very pleased in our ability to work with the local governments and the state governments to identify most of the empty houses in Western Ukraine, where they're helping us contact these owners and saying, hey, you got an apartment that's empty. We know you don't want to buy furniture for someone that's going to be there for 2 or 3 months. Why don't we rent the furniture to you for as long as the flat is occupied? That way, excuse me,
God bless.
people can get in there. Excuse me, people can stay in there during the onslaught.
I appreciate what you're doing and what you're saying, and whatever I can do to help through Global TV Talk Show, let me know. And
Thank you.
I'm very happy to provide business introductions as possible going forward. Chris EXLINE, thank you for being my guest. And this interview is eye-opening and disturbing at the same time. A mix and match here of different feelings that I have listening to you and trying to imagine what you're going through and how you're keeping your head on straight. And so you're, well, to me, you're a model of a wonder here. So thank you very much again.
Not really, Ed. One last thing I'll tell you. One of the things that keeps the head on straight, as you said, is knowing that people like you out there actually have an interest in this and are wanting to stay engaged. So thank you.
It was in 3 years in March coming up when we were forced to stop doing business in terms of conferences, live events. And after 30 years of doing that as a mainstay of my enterprise and cash flow, it disappeared. So we've been doing this, learning how to do TV talk shows and make it a unique experience for people to learn not the same old stuff over and over again, regurgitated in a different way, but new stuff, and meet new people who are leaders. So thank you.
But Ed, that's why that we're all back, and you know that. It's vintage Ed Cohen. You're the only one that could do this. We were all part of your conferences. We enjoyed the conferences. Your ability to reinvent, to tweak your existing model, and come out with something that's actually better than what you possibly had before is one of the reasons why I and so many other people are rallying around and grateful for you displaying a very Ukrainian attitude and a very American attitude, not giving up, trying to figure out how to do it better and more effective, and you've excelled at that. So I hats off to you, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Well, I'm in San Diego, and Chris EXLINE is in Ukraine.
In Kremenets.
Thank you for doing this again. We'll see you
Thank you.
See you on Global TV.
And I'll see you live in London, right? If I'm invited.
Oh, yes. The date, I'll be honored to have you live. My friend and customer Michael Piker from Flutter Entertainment, who you met last time, he has just yesterday agreed to be a speaker in the live event in London, and the date it will be finalized soon. It will be either May 8 or May 9, and will be a luncheon in central London, and we're working on it. Thank you very much. Take care.
Ed, thank you. Take care. God bless. Thank you.